Caribbean is burning in silence. What many feared for months is now impossible to ignore. The United States and Venezuela are closer than ever to a direct clash. The key question is this: is it just a game of political pressure, or are we witnessing the first steps of a war in Washington's own backyard? If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do it now so we can continue bringing you in-depth coverage of breaking stories worldwide. To understand what's happening, we need to go back in time. Since the days of Chávez and his so-called Bolivarian Revolution, Venezuela decided to challenge U.S. influence. It nationalized oil, built strong ties with Russia, China, and Iran, and turned anti-imperialist rhetoric into state policy. Washington responded with sanctions, isolation, and accusations of corruption, drug trafficking, and human rights violations. But what we see today in 2025 goes far beyond old diplomatic clashes. With Donald Trump back in the White House, pressure has multiplied. Sanctions are back in full force. U.S. military presence in the Caribbean grows every week. And the message is clear. For Trump's administration, Venezuela is no longer just a country in crisis. It's a narco-state led by the so-called Cartel de los Soles, allegedly headed by top chavista figures, Diosdado Cabello, Nicolás Maduro, and Vladimir Padrino López. Caracas quickly responded. Maduro mobilized more than 25,000 soldiers, activated civilian militias, and accused the U.S. of preparing an invasion disguised as an anti-drug operation. In recent months, we've seen sunken boats, aircraft skimming warships, and unexplained deaths. Were they innocent fishermen, as Maduro claims, or members of criminal gangs, as evidence suggests? Each version feeds its own narrative. Trump presents this as a war against drug trafficking, flooding U.S. streets with fentanyl. Maduro frames it as a fight for sovereignty and to protect the world's largest oil reserves from being looted. The tension in the Caribbean affects companies, institutions, and professionals trying to operate in the region. That's why at Languages Unlimited, we believe that in times of instability, clear communication makes the difference between success and paralysis. We remain committed to helping organizations and individuals face this uncertain scenario with solutions that go beyond translation, solutions that build trust. But here's the reality. Behind the rhetoric, the situation escalates every single day. And the big question is, what comes next? At Languages Unlimited, we've mapped out 4 possible scenarios. The most optimistic, negotiations pushed by powers like Brazil, China, or even the Vatican, leading to a migration and energy pact in exchange for minimal concessions from Caracas. The most likely, a shadow war with tougher sanctions, cyber attacks, covert operations, but no formal invasion. The high-risk scenario, a direct attempt at regime change, with the U.S. backing the Venezuelan opposition and aiming for Maduro's quick downfall. And the most dangerous? A mistake. A missile launched at the wrong time, a ship sunk, that triggers a regional war with devastating consequences for the entire continent. Meanwhile, Venezuela remains in one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. Over 7 million people have fled the country. The economy has collapsed, and the government narrative only holds thanks to support from Russia and China. But in this global chessboard, Venezuela is not just Venezuela. It's the piece that will determine whether the U.S. continues to dominate its backyard or if new powers succeed in challenging it right at home. The Caribbean hasn't been this close to the edge in decades, and as U.S. warships patrol the Venezuelan coast, the entire world holds its breath. So tell us, are we witnessing the end of the regime in Venezuela and perhaps the fall of others in Latin America? Let us know your opinion in the comments.